There is an active shooter at Pitt Fest. As the nearest trauma center, we are going to be getting the majority of the victims. We don't know yet how many we are getting. We need to move every patient out of here. They either go home, they go upstairs, or they go to family medicine.
Okay, first things first. Different hospitals have different capabilities. Not every hospital can do the same things. For example, not every hospital has a cath lab and has neurosurgery and has trauma level capabilities. So this hospital is a trauma center, and that's why they're getting some mass casualties. The other thing I have to say is, love the fact that family medicine is playing a role here, okay? Oftentimes we are outpatient doctors. We're not usually seen in the hospital. Back in the day when I was a resident, we did have hospital services, and I'm sure there are plenty of residencies that do now. And we train in hospitals, but you see us less in hospitals than certainly you did before as we come out of training.
OBGYN, CCU, ICU, ortho.
MTI protocols.
Make sure you bring all these gurneys and wheelchairs back to go into the ambulance bay. We need as many as we can get our hands on.
Okay, so you know what OBGYN is, obstetrics and gynecology. You'll also probably know what ICU is, that is intensive care unit. CCU, you may or may not know, that means coronary care unit or critical care unit, depends. And then of course orthopedics. They are all hands on deck.
Grandma and Grandpa are gonna come pick you up. And in the meantime, you can play some games.
Can I watch a movie?
Yes, but nothing scary. I mean it. Don't leave this room until I come get you, okay?
One thing that's really awesome about working in medicine is that because we're all working so much, you know, when we do residency, we're all kind of working like this, not to this intensity because maybe we don't always train at a trauma center, but certainly when we're on trauma medicine months, we are working like this. But we're working so much that you get to know everybody and their family and their friends and their children. And that really creates a bond. We're a family. So it's nice to see this even though it's in a tragic situation.
This is no frills combat zone medicine. No ultrasound, no x-rays, no CT, no labs. Assessed based on mental status and pulse strength. Every critical patient gets an IO, intubation, a unit of blood, and chest tube if needed.
This is really impressive. Honestly, it's incredibly impressive. You probably know what the word triage means. It means basically assessing the most important things and sort of sifting out what's most important versus least important so that you can figure out who to address first and who needs care promptly and right away. But they're also talking about essentially like almost like combat style medicine. This is a mass casualty scene where they are going to have a lot of patients and they will not have the ability to send everyone to CAT scan and x-ray and draw blood work and do all the stuff in sort of a fancy way that we often get to do. It's really remarkable. It's really impressive.
What's your name?
Duncan.
Show me. Right chest, strong radial, pink.
What's this?
That's priority boarding. You're going to be okay.
All right, let's talk about that because he sort of went through this process with his residents and his team before they got the first patient. So when they say check for radial, strong radial, which is what he said, they're really referring to the radial pulse. Okay, we're looking for the radial artery, which is down this area on the side of the thumb. And you're basically feeling for the pulse at this radial artery, okay? So when they say strong radial, they're saying a strong radial pulse, which is telling you, okay, well, they've got good blood flow, they've got good pulse, at least here. That is an indicator that they're using to triage patients. Of course, he then slapped on the pink wristband, which they've got that system down pat. By the way, if you want to check your pulse, this is just so you know, again, palmar side, okay, right below here on the thumb side, you count how many beats you feel your pulse in, I'd say 15 seconds, and then multiply that by 4. It gives you the number of heartbeats your heart is beating in a minute. Average heart rate is 60 to 100 beats per minute. It can be an outlier a little bit, but you know, and generally that's what we're looking for is that pulse, okay?
Squeeze in 2 units, 1,500 out, buys him a trip to the OR if he stabilizes surgical ICU instead.
IO's in, go with OPAs. When there's no time, bone marrow infusion is as good as an IV.
You know, one thing about ER physicians is that it's a very procedure-heavy specialty. You've seen this show for all the episodes that have been going on. You see how busy they are. When medical students are picking their specialty, I always tell my students, you pick a specialty based on your personality. If you don't like procedures, you know, ER is not necessarily the place for you because you see they literally are moving from the moment they get in to the moment they get out.
Unresponsive, had a weak femoral, lost it.
2 units of blood, there's no response, call it. No pulse, no OR.
Gunshot to the head. Yeah, we still got a strong pulse. This one can make it because the intracranial bleed can decompress through the bullet holes.
Walsh, neurosurgery in-house?
Yes, send him to the
You know, looking at my colleagues, obviously this is a TV show, but this is pretty close to real life. looking at what is depicting my colleagues doing what they do best, it really is awe-inspiring.
Sylvia? Whitaker? Sylvia. Sylvia, can you hear me? Sylvia, can you hear me? I lost her radial pulse.
From a broken leg?
Well, what did we miss? Diagnosis made. Blood in Morrison's liver laceration.
This patient started losing her pulse, which makes them worried about sort of internal bleeding. In other words, they're wondering, is something bleeding on the inside of her where she's losing her blood pressure, losing her pulse, and that they don't know it. Because remember, they don't have x-rays, they don't have imaging. They do have ultrasound, though, and that's what they're doing at the bedside. They discovered that she has a laceration at her liver, which is causing internal bleeding and very likely what's causing her to lose her pulse, which is life-threatening.
Hey, how many ORs available?
One now, 2 more in less than 5.
Can you take a belly and one more chest and pre?
No problem.
MCI 21's going to IC.
Okay, let me tell you about these nurses. They are some bomb.com nurses here. Charge nurses, I'm telling you, they are, you see it, walkie-talkie coordinating everything. Literally, the world would not work without nurses. And same thing in this hospital and every other hospital and basically medical facility that exists.
Tim, yeah, for T50 now.
Got it.
Seriously?
Look, glucose monitor. She's diabetic and probably hypoglycemia.
So you're making it worse.
My spidey sense is telling me she took her morning insulin, but she skipped lunch. She's in a coma from low blood sugar. Will you look at that? These are healing hands.
This is a really important case. He made an excellent call. We see the glucometer. His spiny sense, we always say that in medicine too, you listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. I believe this in life as well, but I have learned in medicine to always follow my gut because it is never wrong. What I would say is I don't know that I've seen D50 work so quickly. I mean, that woman woke up just like bing, almost before all the solution got into her. So I haven't seen it work that quickly, but you know what? This is a good case.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Fine. Leave me alone.
You can't do that.
Back off.
We need security in here.
She suspected he was a reporter. Taking video images and videoing other patients and stuff, that's a HIPAA violation. You can't do that. You can share your own information. You can tell your own business, but you can't tell somebody else's business. And that goes for patients, random people off the street, such as this guy, doctors, nurses. We can't tell people's business. So she was right to call security. That's the other thing. We don't tackle patients ourselves. You might have wondered, why didn't she grab the phone? Nah, man, you don't fight with patients. You don't fight with people. It can be very dangerous. You call security.
All right, kid, roll up your sleeve. I'll meet you in 7. Listen up. Central 789 is now the blood donor center. Anyone who's O-neg or O-pause, we need you to donate now. Hands where I can see them.
The doctors and the staff and the nurses and people who are actively working this mass casualty are about to start giving their own blood to be able to help the patients that are right there. This is really remarkable.
Okay, I'm done.
The saline in, she's barely with us now.
Okay, well, this unit of whole blood should help. Yeah, squeeze in myself.
She took care of her patient. She handled that, and it's so neat to see. That's the thing I would say about this show is it's not even just like a show. It's for, and I know a lot of doctors, we love this show, but for me, when I watch this, it invokes the same feelings that I had when I was going through training, the same feelings I have when I go to work. In a day's worth of time, you feel sad, you feel happy, you feel scared, you feel worried, you feel powerless, you feel powerful, you feel so many different things. And this show really encapsulates all of that. But I never really used to react to medical shows. And I haven't said this before, but it's because there was never really a medical show I connected with. I did like Scrubs, that show from like back in the 90s. Love that one. But the others I did not connect with as well. This one, I have to say, is pretty remarkable. So anyway, take a look at some of my other reactions to the Pitt. Let me know what you thought about this. Of course, I couldn't go through everything, but we're going to keep trekking. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen. Please subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell for updates. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, everything. Please follow me there. Guys, and sign up for my free health newsletter, drjencaudle.com. All right, bye.